Challenge Cup, an international one this one. Ruderverein Münster in Germany against Harvard A from the USA, of course. Visitors Challenge Cup, away they go. And let's have a look at the start. And there seems to be a little bit of correction required. The boat's getting very close, paddles clashing, and there's real problems here. Both boats swerving off, and they may have to have a restart. Well, that is not what we were anticipating from two experienced boats on the buck station. The German boat swerving right across the course, the Americans trying to take evasive action, and the umpire, well, he had to intervene.
Absolute disaster there in the German boat. Ruderverein Münster of Germany steering went absolutely AWOL there. They went straight into the Harvard University side of the stretch. Harvard went off at 44 strokes a minute, and they were going what looked straight down the course. The German boat from Münster, they went off at 46 strokes a minute, which may have had an impact on it. Quite a quick start there, but good to have a restart, and it was quite early that we had that clash, so straight back onto the blocks, and we'd do that again. But the impact of that on your nerves, on your confidence, devastating. So that will be interesting to see how they recover from that, and the confidence impact that would have had. Not only that, but it's quite a stressful and strength depleting part of the race at the start. You put so much into it. You have to do it twice, even worse on your confidence.
Well, apologies to anyone who could lip read the strokes chat back to the Germans there. That was a serious bit of chat going on between the two boats as they collided. Let's see if we can get it. Take two. Here we go. And predictably the Germans hugging the side of the course that they're due to on the buck station. And now they swerve back out again, and they've got their alignment all wrong again. Now, presumably, they've got time to correct this time. Harvard on a straight line on the bark station. But they did come across again, the Germans, a rather violent swerve across the course, and now very central. The Americans are trying to stay out of trouble from Harvard University on the bark side of the course. Well, it's been dramatic and thoroughly entertaining. They've got to lead, the Germans. Whether they'll be able to hold on to that. They've been through the mill a bit in the last few moments.
I'm amazed to see them out in front there. They went off at a much lower rate of striking. They went off at 43 compared to their first attempt at 46. But even with the lower rate of striking, they still had a lot of steering wobble there, but they're making the best of this. This is quite impressive. Quarter of a length in these early stages up on Harvard. Harvard, who are in fact the holders of the record time in the Visitors Challenge Cup. They set the record back in 2013 in 6:33.
What's going to be the impact on their mindset, these Germans, their mindset here for Ruderverein Münster? Having had the restart, having had a bit of drama after the restart as well, and now with a big race in front of them, they've actually got to 3/4 of a length ahead of Harvard. But we'll be fascinated to see how this race pans out, because the adrenaline that must have been surging through. One start is enough at Henley Royal Regatta to start twice in quick succession.
Really, really tough. I mean, it takes a while to let the lactic acid go away. They'll have been burning energy aerobically to start with there, but it's impressive to see that they're still out in front here, having done that twice, and with the steering issues they had. But it looks like they're getting into the rhythm now. They'll have forgotten the issues at the start of this race, and they'll be getting back into what their race strategy should have been in the first place. And it looks as though that was to get well out in front early on. They've strided down into their race rhythm now, but I'd expect to see big things from Harvard as we come down the course.
Stunning countryside round here. Hamilton Valley in the background just there. Lovely green rolling hills of the Berkshire-Oxfordshire border. This race, one to keep an eye on. I'm enjoying this one, the Visitors Challenge Cup. We've got lots of international crews here over the next few days, more so than ever before. 18 countries represented at this Henley Royal Regatta.
It's looking close in the middle there again. We might see a bit more clashing, the boats having to make some corrections, but Ruderverein Münster up at 37 strokes a minute compared to Harvard's 33. So I really do think that Harvard will have another gear that they're holding back for the later stages of this race. Passing the barn bar there, that's a noted point in many crews' race strategies, but Ruderverein Münster look to be dropping back slightly, so this could be an interesting development as we come through the middle stages of the race.
Yeah, the barn bar, a noted point in many of the crew strategies and many of the socialisers' strategies as well. Try getting in there on Saturday night.
Don't know what you're talking about, Tim.
So a good race unfolding. So head past another marker, and this is really neck and neck, isn't it? This is probably the tightest race we've seen for a while. The umpire intervening again, just trying to encourage the Germans back to the buck side of the water. Anxious glances from the German boat across towards the Americans, who look like they're minding their own business a little bit, don't they? They're just trying to get themselves into a bubble and remove the distraction, and there has been plenty of distraction. Now having a look at the stroke for Harvard again. That's Watt who having another glance over to see where the Germans were. It's all happening in this one.
They're rowing their own race in that Harvard boat, which means that they're clearly sticking to their own strategy, trying not to be affected by what's going on the Buckinghamshire station. But they've increased their rating ever so slightly. They're up at 36 now, so both these crews, stroke for stroke, at 36 as we come up towards Upper Thames and Remenham. So they'll know exactly where they are here in the course. And we can see that that Harvard boat is starting to wind it up ever so slightly. It's not having much of an impact just yet, only half a length in it between these two crews.
Yeah, the Germans in the white on the buck side, on the left-hand side of that shot, and the Americans in the red on the right-hand side of that shot. And this is teeing up to be a belter. And just have a look there again, the umpire.
Another warning. You'd have thought that the Ruderverein Münster steersman, which is usually the bowman in the boat, I won't make an assumption here. In fact, it's the stroke man who's steering here, Müller in the stroke seat, and he's got the best view of where they are on the course. So interesting to see that they're being warned again, but that will only take feet out of their lead against Harvard to have to make so many corrections, particularly at this point where they'll be winding up for a strong finish.
This is Harvard University A from America on the Berkshire bank, nearest to the crowd. And they have a look over again. We've got just over a mile gone, and there's not much in this one. This could be a cracking finish.
It's going to be a cracker. That progress board looked as though it was a foot between these two crews, so it's going to come down to the last few strokes. And if anything, Harvard have taken the lead here, coming through the enclosures strong, and they've got some real grunt there in their finish in the strokes. They're looking at the stroke man in the Harvard boat, Watt, who is starting to really build up that rhythm for a really strong finish. Yeah. You can see that the Germans are struggling now.
They've really shifted on in the last couple of 100 metres. Harvard put in a huge burst, and you can see the pace just going out the German boat, just losing a little bit of momentum. The umpire still keeping a very close eye on this one, because we've had some shenanigans all the way down the course. And Harvard now stretching out. They've timed it perfectly. Tactically, they've got that absolutely spot on, haven't they? The way that race has unfolded, they could have easily been distracted with the Germans' antics going across the course more than once, and the restart as well. But now Harvard have got clear water against the German boat there as they come in front of stewards. Really impressive, well put together race.
What a demonstration. Perfectly steered, a dead straight course, perfectly stroked, a really nice wind up to 38 strokes a minute coming into the last 100 metres.
Sensational race. We had the restart a mile and a bit back, but now as they come towards the finish line, Harvard have given a masterclass. How not to get distracted, how to concentrate on your own game. Harvard University A beating the German boat Ruderverein Münster by more than a length. That was one of the more thrilling races we've seen at this Royal Regatta.